I mean, when I was in college, one of my teammates' dads ran one of the biggest Ponzi schemes of the year in New York City, $250 million Ponzi scheme. Right now at this stage in my life is the best feeling. Like we've been doing some pretty cool things, I think.
And you're the busiest you've ever been. You've been here, there, and everywhere.
I think more so than proving yourself to the market, you need to prove yourself to yourself. You need to give yourself evidence. Like, yo, I am the shit.
Danny, welcome to the first episode of Creating the Dream Life podcast.
Dude, first episode is an extreme honor to be on here, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm super excited. So this podcast really is just going to be me diving deep into, successful entrepreneurs' minds and successful business owners to showcase how someone wanting to create their dream lifestyle can go about it. So I just want to start off, Danny, who are you? And, I've seen that, you've grown an account to 1.2 million followers. You grew an account to $50,000 in 50 days. How have you gone about that? And how have you started to create your dream life?
Dude, well, I think that's an excellent question you bring up. I mean, social media, in my opinion, is just a vehicle to help create your dream life. I think that social media can either be the best thing in the world for you. It can also be a very big detriment. I think our generation, Gen Z, I think a lot of the problems that we have and a lot of the backlash that we rightfully get for being the way we are is as a result of social media. So I think that everything comes down to choices. So my mom has always taught me, just like, you have all the resources in front of you, you have every decision in front of you can make. Are you making the right choices? Choices that are going to serve you and choices that are going to help fuel your dream life instead of taking away from it. And this is something I've had a lot of deep thought on, of just what does a dream life look like? And I think that most people who haven't gone through the gauntlet and really tried their hand at business or tried their hand at creating their dream life thinks that the dream life is the cars, thinks that the dream life is the watches, thinks that the dream life is the clothes. I mean, anybody who knows me knows that I don't wear this every day. I wear this on social media as part of the brand, always in suits as the professor, but I wear a black shirt and black shorts every single day. I think the dream life happens up here. And
it's all mentality.
It is mentality, yes, but it's like when we're in our 20s and early 30s, it's like we really want to get into the game and just move up in the game. And it's how can we get ahead? How can we get ahead? How can we get ahead? Yeah. And at what point do we really ask ourselves, like, what do I want?
And I'd love to dive deeper into that because, your dream life or, success to any individual person can mean something different. Success can mean for someone, having lots of money. So success can be, having that financial freedom. Success can be all the cars and stuff like that. So what is success and what does creating the dream life mean to you?
I think the best way I've discovered this throughout my life so far. I mean, to preface, guys, like I'm 22. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I just go out here and try my best every single day. I skinned my knee. I fell forward. I fuck up quite a bit. And learn from it.
You learn from your mistakes.
There's a really good Hormozy-ism. There's a lot of really good Hormozy-isms, but one of the things that I learned from him recently was that intelligence isn't the lack of making mistakes. It's a lack of learning from them. So
love it.
If I hold a red card in front of your face and then slap you and you didn't duck the first time, you're not dumb. How would you know that the red card was going to mean a slap?
Of course, yeah.
But intelligence is how many times does it take you to duck after I show you the red card? So to me, I just want to go out there, fail as many times as I can, and just get better each and every time, because an expert is just a person who's made every mistake in a narrow field. So to me, I'm just going to get up, give it my all every single day. One of the core values we have at our company, Brand Sharks, is empty the tank. I just want to hit the sheets at the end of every night knowing that I gave it everything I had. There are days where we've literally brought in $25,000 cash into the company that I had a rough day, not mentally.
That's a rough day.
I'm going to get to trust this. I have a serious point here where it's like, I didn't do what I was supposed to. I snoozed the alarm. I skipped the gym. I didn't do what I needed to do. I didn't eat right, but we brought in a lot of cash that day. And it was as a result of the disciplined behaviors that came before that allow a day like that to happen. And I'll hit the sheets at night and not feel good.
Yeah,
Hit the pillow in your sheets, not feel good.
Yeah.
And then there are other days where, man, you just get kicked in the teeth left and right. And it's just every meal is glass that you have to eat. But you gave it everything you got and you hit the pillow at the end of the night and you're like, man, I gave it my best. I really tried my best. And to me, right now at this stage in my life is the best feeling. We've been doing some pretty cool things, I think.
And you're the busiest you've ever been. You've been here, there, and everywhere.
I mean, if we went around the itinerary of my last 3 months, I think a lot of people would be shocked. And it's at the point where some of my family ask me how I'm doing, and I refrain from saying what I do because it's just almost not believable.
Yeah,
So I kind
of
of keep
course.
some of the stories to myself. But I really do think there's something special when you wake up every single day, give it your all, and you're just like, man, maybe this is what happiness is. Because I've got to experience a lot of the hedonistic things in life. Summer of 2024, I was running around with some business partners I had at the time who were very wealthy. For anyone listening, I'm putting air quotes around, and we were riding around Lamborghinis every city that we were in Europe.
Yeah,
Ferrari,
yeah.
Lamborghini, McLaren, yachts every other weekend, $2,000 dinner every single night. And one of the biggest lessons I learned from losing all of my money in that sort of business partner deal was that that's not what you work for.
Yeah,
And
of course.
I'm unbelievably grateful that I learned that at age 21 and that I don't like
It's a good lesson
work my
learned.
ass off to then
course.
get a car that's like, dude, yes, the first time I ripped a supercar in the McLaren, oh my God, like it was
Best
a
feeling.
feeling like never before.
Yeah.
But the fourth time, it was like, this is,
It's the
but
same. Yeah.
this isn't what you work for. So I've found after all of that, and I continue to find things out, as I think everybody should, in perpetuity for the rest of their life, is that the happiness happens up here. And it's cliche to say fuck what everyone thinks, but seriously, like as long
Yeah,
as you're
fuck
good in
everyone
between
thinks.
your two ears, because it's like you're the only person you have to report to every single day.
Of course.
So creating your dream reality, to me, dude, you could live in a shack if you're happy. There goes the story of the farmer who lives in Vermont, who's like, I want to just have a farm in Vermont, which is a remote area in America, and I want to just, I'm not gonna go to school. I'm just gonna start a farm, go to Vermont, and just live there, and that's gonna be my life.
Yeah,
And
again, it's mentality.
And then the
Yeah.
millionaire says, well, I'm going to go to college, get a finance degree, work my ass off 100 hours per week so that I can work 40 years and then retire and live on a farm in Vermont.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
So I think as long as you're on a farm in Vermont, again, air quotes in your head, I think you're living your dream life. There's no answer that I could give as to how you got to live, but I think as long as you look in the mirror and you're happy with yourself, you know that you're making decisions for you and not other people, and you know you're giving it your best every single day, I think that that's a
Yeah, I
pretty
love
dreamy
that.
lifestyle.
And I want to play just on what you were saying before. You're talking very highly of discipline. Do you think discipline is like the biggest key to success and creating that dream life?
I think it's fundamental to how you think upstairs. For me, it's obviously the more you're disciplined, the more you will have. If your discipline that you're putting yourself into is leading towards things that you want to have. So if it's like, if my goal is make more money and my discipline is make 100 calls per day, that'll correlate eventually. Like if I
course,
do
yeah,
100 calls a
100%.
day in perpetuity and that's my discipline,
Yeah.
I'll make more money eventually. But to me, it's a lot more than like the money that will come with it or the fitness that comes with like going to the gym. For me, I'm very big into running as of recent. I've been an athlete my entire life.
You got that marathon coming up.
It's in 10 days.
Exciting.
But
You prepared?
yeah, I've prepared well for it. But to me, it's like the days that I'll miss a workout. It's not that I didn't put the 10 miles in or didn't put the lift session in, the full body workout. It's like it's not that. Like the missed workout isn't gonna crush you, but it's like you going to sleep that night knowing that you didn't do it.
Yeah,
At least for me, it's like, man, I can't do it. I have to do it. Like there was a night. I came back Thursday night. It's Wednesday the following week right now. So 6 days ago, I came back to Phoenix after 2 months away on some crazy trips. We went to every single continent except Africa and Antarctica over the course of a month. Came back, did even more travel, went to South America. It was ridiculous. And I came back Thursday night, and I'm just wiped. I'm like, dude, all I want to do is just go to sleep. But
You're knackered,
I didn't have my knackered. Yeah, I did pick that one up while I was gone as well. Knackered, for anyone American that's listening to this, I think it means tired. Really, really tired. Like
Very tired,
I'm
yeah.
knackered
You're
right
exhausted.
now. But either way, I came back knackered. And all I want to do is just go to sleep. I just want to eat a Chipotle bowl and just crash out and then just wake up, do it again the next day. But there was something, you should go to the gym. Good, you have a workout today.
You gotta
Because
get
my flight was early in the morning. I didn't go in the morning. I flew, and now it's like nighttime. Had a layover, and I'm like, "Do you go to the gym or not?" And I went. I lost about an hour or two of sleep that night from going to the gym, but I felt good about myself. And it was like I started off on the right foot in the environment, and I'm like, "This is the environment where I thrive in." And I'm ridiculously disciplined. So
Yeah.
I have been reading "Discipline Is Destiny" by Ryan Holiday. It's been helpful in that. It's
I'm gonna read that.
been very good. Yeah, it's very, very short, digestible chapters. I've been enjoying it, and it keeps me on track. So.
I love it. So you're talking about how you went through like a really hard period, you know, when you spent all your money. You play on keeping a positive mindset and going through life having that mentality of, you know, life is good, we've got to keep moving forward, you've got to get shit done. But how, like for someone listening, can they and how did you go about keeping that positive mindset even through the tough times?
I think I had it very easy in terms of like a family that really loves me.
Yeah.
And because I had never really like not been out of the house when I was 18. I went to college, went there for 2 years, dropped out, moved to Miami, and was out with the people I was doing business with at the time there. Moved to Colombia after that, traveled around the world. So I'd never really been home past 18. And I'd made decent money for myself. And then in this period you're referring to, I'd lost all my money, and I had to go back home and live with my mom and work out of the basement for
Do you think
a
that
good
was
4
like
months.
a fundamental key of like building your, you know, where you are now, like getting out of home at a young age and taking on the world and getting those real life experiences?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could go on for hours about the teeth kicks that I've gotten. I mean, when I was in college, one of my teammates' dads ran one of the biggest Ponzi schemes of the year in New York City, $250 million Ponzi scheme. I had about 50 grand at the time. They showed me around the office. It was a full-blown office. Like, there were employees working there. There was like screens and projectors of like charts and stuff. And I'm like, okay, so where's my money going? Oh, we're diversifying it between crypto, real estate, Forex, stocks, options, etc. And it gives you 10% per week. And I was like, think about that for a second.
Yeah.
10% is really, really good. Really, really good. I said, okay, that sounds too good to be true, but like, this is my homie and it's his dad. And I mean, it's worth a shot. So I put in $1,000 just to like see what was good.
Oh, so you got sucked into it too?
Oh no, dude! I put in $1,000.
Yeah.
Next week, $100.
Okay.
Interesting. I said, okay, you know what? Let me cash out this $100 and just see like if I can get it to go to my bank account, or if it's like gonna be, oh, you can't cash it out. I cash it out. They send it to my Coinbase. Coinbase goes into the bank account. I have the money in my bank account.
All sorted. Yeah.
I go, interesting. Well, I'm in college right now. I'm not really like doing too much. I'm just kind of, being a DGen freshman year. And I was like, you know what? I'll put $5,000 in. So now I have 6,000 in here. First week, 600. I was like, interesting. So here's what I'll do. I'll take out 600, that profit, and then also take out some of the principal. So like, I'm going to go negative. I'm going to take out some of the money that I put in. So I'm going to take out $1,000. I don't know the exact figures if this was exactly what I was doing, but this was the way that I was running it. Yeah. Take out $1,000, and that comes out too, untaxed, Coinbase bank. I'm like, interesting. Well, my money's just sitting here doing nothing. Let's just put all of it in there. 50 grand, 5,000, 5,000. 5,000. I'm cashing out. I'm like, I'm just spending this money. Like, I'm like, it's free money every single week, every single week. So now I'm like, okay, we'll start like reinvesting some of it, reinvest. I mean, we built up a pretty big like portfolio in there, like on paper. And then one week, May of 2022, I pull up the website. I mean, you can look this up. It's called EminiFX. They're like actively still like suing the company. And I pull up the website, and EminiFX redirects to justice.gov article, which is like the like bad, like you don't want that to happen. I'm trying to explain it in like Aussie terms, but it redirects to justice.gov, and it literally had my homie's dad's name versus the United States of America, $250 million Ponzi scheme. Couldn't take it out. All money is gone. So that was the first time I lost all my money. It was things like that, and then obviously other experiences.
That would have been a valuable lesson. That
huge valuable lesson. I mean, dude, if like, what happens if you don't learn that with all of your money at 19?
What was the biggest thing you learned from that? Is it, like, if it's too good to be true, it usually is?
That was a big one there. But I still was very trusting after that. And then the second time I lost all my money, which was with a bad business partner, that one taught me you really can't trust anyone. Like,
so are you still a trusting person or not so much?
I think that I'll tell you what I used to think was that respect is earned and trust is given.
100%.
So I was always like, dude, I've worked very hard to build my own self-esteem, and I think I respect myself on the days I stay disciplined. And I do think the hardest respect to earn is one's own. So I'm constantly like trying to earn my own respect. So respect was always a very big thing. I was like, if you work hard and you're on the right track and you're a good person, you're honest, I'll respect you. But I was always like, I was always very trusting. Like, I'd hand someone my phone, I got nothing to hide. Like, I'm a clean dude, so
of course.
I'm very trusting. You just assume, like, there's a principle Malcolm Gladwell talks about in his book, Talking to Strangers, just like default to truth principle. So like humans by nature are very trusting. So I would just trust people. And then this was a case of like, I mean, there were people, I mean, I'd say like, yo, these are my brothers, man. Like, I would literally, like, I'd do anything for these guys. And then you end up losing all your money. So I was like, okay, wow.
Yeah.
If we got this close and this is what ends up happening, I mean, yeah, you really can't trust
if you're
people.
that close to someone and that's the outcome, you're like, okay.
But it's like, man, not many people have ever got that close to me.
Yeah.
So it's like, over all these other people,
It's
around
I'm on the
like,
way.
But yeah, I mean, I guess to wrap up the tangent of stories that I'm on and get back to your point of, if you think it's valuable to go out there and learn those lessons, I would challenge you to think, what's the alternative? There's two alternatives to not going out there and learning the lessons for yourself at a young age if you're listening to this and you're Gen Z. One alternative is that you sit on the porch the entire time and don't do anything. And you just think about all the stuff that you can do. And you see it on social media and you start resenting people because deep down you resent yourself because you never took the shot because you were too afraid to do it. That's outcome number one. Scares me. Outcome number two is a bit different. You go out there, you fail, and then you just go, you know what? I'm done. I'm not gonna do this. I'm just screw everything. I'm not. This is bad. I'm not gonna do it. And you don't ever end up learning the lessons.
Yeah,
So I'll wrap this up. I promise.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Keep going.
It's outcome number two leads to you going down the path of like, you know, I lived in this sort of box my entire life. I worked a job. I did all the right things supposedly, and now all of a sudden I'm 45 with a wife and a young kid, and now I'm gonna take the risk. I plan on having, I mean, personally, I think everybody should, if this is their goal, I plan on having many, many millions of dollars at this time in my life when I'm 45. I want to double my age right now.
Yeah.
I think everybody should, and I think it's a man's duty to provide and make money. So
That's a realistic goal too, to be fair.
Well, 100%. And what happens if I don't learn that lesson at 19 with 50 grand and I throw 10 million at something like this when I have a wife and kids? That's the other outcome. So you either have Mr. Don't jump off the porch and does nothing, or you have, well, I'll take the risk and don't learn the lesson when I'm 45 and screw my family over. So I'm beyond grateful for the knee skinning, teeth kicking, and failing and fucking.
Yeah, so. I live by, I'd rather live with rejection than regret. I think that kind of falls more in place with women, but it's got the same principle of life. Like, I'd rather, have tried and had it possibly work out, but if it doesn't work out and I get rejected, it's okay, move on, than regretting not doing it. I think that's the biggest thing for me. And when it comes to risk taking, I think taking the risk is everything. Like, I'm here right now in Arizona and we booked our flights 2 hours ago. I saw your story and I was like, yo, are we doing this? And you're like, yep. And I'm here. And I think taking the risk is everything, because now I've got a massive opportunity. I'm here with people that are entrepreneurs, and I'm going to meet other entrepreneurs. And I'm super, super excited because it could take me somehow to that next level, which I think is massive. And what is taking a risk like for you? Do you think it's necessary?
It's oxygen, man. It's something, if I'm being very candid right now, it's something that I'm working on. I think that...
What, taking risk?
What got you from 0 to 1 doesn't get you from 1 to 2.
Yeah.
So like what gets you from 0 to your first $50,000 a month, or like no connections to your first batch of connections, is not going to do the same thing from going from 50 to 100. At least that's what I've seen from the people that I've studied and the mentors that I have. You can get to a number like that pretty easily in the online space. If you know what you're doing, you're not an idiot. Like it's going out, taking risk, putting your service out there for free, meeting the right people, shaking hands, losing money on deals, doing what you're doing right now, flying over to America, flying over, meeting people, shaking hands, doing deals, maybe losing some money and just like building a relationship. Like that'll get you from here to here. But like, is that what Amazon is doing to get to trillions of dollars in shareholder value? I don't think so. I think it's a matter of like, okay, we have something here. Now there's 15 people that work for me. And if I take a big risk, it's not Danny that gets screwed in the risk. It's the team.
It's also them, yeah.
So now what I've been working on is, because I have the tendency, as we do as humans, to just do more of what got you a good outcome in the past. And I realize, like, when I give it a really hard look and I look at the sheets, I'm like, you know what? At the position I'm at, I've taken a lot of risks. I've won on a few. I've lost on a bunch of them. I have a big appetite personally for risk, but let's see what's best for the business right now to get it from 50 to 250 per month. I don't know if it's being an insane risk taker. So it's something I'm working on right now, but I think that if you haven't taken a risk and failed, it's a really good thing to do. I would recommend failing as much as possible.
Yeah. So how do you differentiate when you go from kind of saying like, if it's working, don't change it, and okay, we're going to take this risk in order to scale?
I think there's two different types of risks that we're talking about. I mean, there's definitely risks in terms of like right now, I'll give you a tangible example. Like we're looking to change our fulfillment software from something that's like tried and true and like a multi-billion-dollar software in ClickUp, which is we run all of our operations through right now, over to a smaller, like brand new software that one of my friends started that's perfect for what we do, but has a lot of bugs. So it could increase our fulfillment ability by a ton, but it's also a risk because it might bug out, it may not work out into be what we think it's going to be. So that's a risk that you have to evaluate.
Yeah, of course.
I think the other kind of risks I'm talking about that says like what got you from 0 to 50 won't get you from 50 to 250. I'm talking about jumping on a plane without any real outcome in mind. I think that those are like, actually, I'll jump on a plane for sure, but like, what's the outcome? I'm not afraid to jump on a plane, but what am I getting out of this? I think is a shift that needs to happen, at least in my head, and I can report back how I experience it. But it's actively something I'm trying to like wrangle in right now.
So if you were someone who's like, at level 0, right? And you want to get from 0 to 1, like you were saying before, and they want to start building their dream lifestyle. How would you go about it personally? Like if you had to take a step back to the beginning.
I know exactly how I'd do it. I'd do the same things and just make the mistakes sooner. That's all I'd do. And what I mean by that,
throw yourself in the deep end.
I throw myself in the deep end because like you'll always get out of it. Like when you say, "Oh, I'm gonna get rejected," okay, who dies as a result of you getting rejected? Like there's a real cliche. It's a big cliche, but like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But if you think about that for a second and you like extrapolate it out, it's like, okay, I did some really, really like tough stuff. I got myself into a pretty bad situation, and I'm still alive. That was like, I mean, dude, I went down to zero, negative 70 grand in credit card debt. Off of this business deal that I was telling you about before.
Damn.
You go back to your mom's house, you live in the basement, you hit the phones, you sell your way out of it, and then you get out of that and you're like, oh wow. Like, I'm not afraid of anything.
But I love how you were saying before, you know, you've learned that lesson now, right? At however old you were, 19.
21. Yeah.
21. Did you learn that lesson at 21?
I lost all my money at 19 and then again at 21.
So, but you'd rather lose it all at 19 and 21 and it only be 50,000 than be 40 and lose 50 million.
Yeah.
You know, you'd rather learn that lesson now, so then it mitigates that in the future. And I think that's huge for you.
Yeah. I think if we're talking about tangible like dream lifestyle, I think that you shouldn't really be thinking about like how you want to live your lifestyle if you haven't proven yourself at all. I think more so than proving yourself to the market, you need to prove yourself to yourself. Like you need to give yourself evidence. Like, yo, I am the shit. Like you can't go out there and act like you're shit, because then you hit the mirror every single day when you're brushing your teeth or washing your hands. You're like, I am not who I say I am. And I think that's a really dangerous thing that stops a lot of people in entrepreneurship. So I think it's like, go out and prove yourself to yourself. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh wow, this guy radiates confidence. Yeah, because I believe in myself.
Exactly.
Like, the confidence is built by doing the things you say you're gonna do to yourself. Like picture this, bro. Picture this. There's two worlds you could live in. One is where you say internally in your head, and I bet we've all done this before, I'm gonna wake up at 6 a.m. tomorrow.
And you wake up at 10.
And the alarm goes off, and you have two choices. One is like, no, but I don't really need to. It's not really, I don't have to go to work. I don't have to go to school. I don't really,
Snooze.
You wake up at 8 and you have yourself a day. The second option is you go,
let's get to work.
You walk over and you turn the alarm off and you make yourself a cup of coffee, you brush your teeth, you go for a walk, you bring back your coffee, you sip it, and the first couple sips kick in, you're like, you know what? It's 6:21. I've opened my laptop and I'm working. And all of a sudden, like, you get a little win at 6:49 a.m. on a Sunday morning. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, okay. I see how this goes now. You stack a win, you stack a win, you stack a win. And then you're like, okay, what if we push this back to 5? And this is a personal experience for me. You wake up at 5, you hit the computer at 5:30 because you're starting right away after a walk and a coffee. And it's like, you catch a quick win or a discovery at like 5:43 a.m. on a Saturday. And then you start to think like, you know what? I deserve that discovery. I deserve 100%. That win. Like there's other people that are sleeping. That's what David Goggins talked about, like taking souls. And all of a sudden it's like boom, boom, boom. And no one said that like, you had to wake up at 6. You said it to yourself. And now you can carry yourself throughout the day and be like, yeah, I am the type of guy that does what I says I'm going to do. And like, no one would know if you had said that you were going to go to sleep or wake up at 6 a.m. and woke up at 8. No one would have known. But you will know. And you carry yourself a bit differently when that happens. So that alarm is very, very important.
So you were talking about, completing your first task in the morning and it motivates you to keep going. I watched this really, really, really good video, and it was this Navy SEAL. And he said the first task whenever you wake up in the morning should be to make your bed. You make your bed and, you'll feel like you've achieved that task, and it'll motivate you throughout the day to continue making those successful tasks. So I think that is a massive thing, and I've kept that to myself. But playing back on, when you've done a day and you get to bed and it's like, okay, I'm exhausted. I'm ready to hit the hay, in comparison to, I could have done more. Yeah, that itching feeling. How did you change your life to then ensure you were getting to bed and you were exhausted and you got everything done or plus more?
I think not everybody has people in their lives that can hold them to the standard that they want to be held to. There are phases of my life where I've had those kind of people. Like when some of my team was here in Phoenix, oh my gosh, those were some of those productive days ever, bro. 'Cause it's like your team's here and it's like how long you gonna let the alarm go off for when your boy's sleeping in the other room? And he
Oh, yeah.
knows, like, you're like, oh, he's gonna listen to that.
If you don't
I'm
get
gonna,
up,
like,
you're a bitch.
well, I mean, does it take you 4 minutes? Does it take you 12 minutes? Does it take you 1 second? You hear the boom, didn't even hear the alarm. I was still up. I was
Well,
at him. So
Jaden this morning, the alarm went off. This guy got up, started doing push-ups. I was like, all right, I've got to do push-ups now too.
and that's the kind of people that you want to be surrounding yourself with. But it's not lost on me that I'm sure a lot of the audience listening to this like doesn't have people like that, and I actively don't right now. Like it's you and you. Like you're the only person that you have to look in the mirror every single day. So for me, every time I've needed to get myself out of a slump or I've needed to rediscipline myself, I've put together like some sort of protocol that's like input driven. It's not like I'm gonna make 3 sales today.
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna make 100 calls. So it's like, I know that this snowball effect and compound interest is going to keep winning.
Course,
so I have you know, fitness goals, you have sales goals, you have social media goals. So for me, I'm like, okay, I have to do this every day. Like it's my 4 right now are there's going to be X amount of reach outs to start in July 1st with a challenge that we can talk about here in a second. But it'll be 1 social media post per day.
Yeah.
It'll be X amount of reach outs to either clients or staff members, depending on what the biggest constraint is for the business right now. It's going to be abstaining from all vices. And then it's also going to be just inbox 0. So like all of my messages are cleared by the end of the night.
That's the best feeling. I love that,
Bro.
to be fair.
Well, because I've found this personally, bro. Like the weeks that I've gone when there's messages that I like don't reply to or things that are just on my plate that I can't just like get off. It messes me up so much. Like I have to have that inbox 0. So I have those 4 check boxes. And for me, it's if I can check all of those boxes, I did what I need to do for the day. And sometimes you still have some in the tank after you do that. And what you can do then is just some tasks that you want to do. So like the have to do's and the would be nice to do's. You get done the have to do's. If you have energy left, you do the would be nice to do's. And sometimes the have to do's, I mean, those will fucking knock you out, man. There are some times, I mean, I'm literally finishing replying to the last text and I'm like, you guys weren't at the house area today, but my mattress is on the ground in the corner and I have a big like U-shaped desk with all like, I have a big control center of like work and then just a mattress. With,
Yeah,
like,
just give me a pillow and I'm sweet.
Literally, and I'll sometimes send the last message plug before I just boom, and you're just knocked out right there. And to me, like just hitting the bed at that frame of mind is to me the biggest feeling of bliss, at least in this time of my life. So I just want to do what feels good, and that feels good to me. And I know like you'll sit there. For me, dude, I'm not a disciplined person, bro. Like I just got rid of the distractions. I just got rid of like the triggers. For me, dude, I had Snapchat and Hinge on my phone were like the two apps that I like left on my main phone because I took Instagram off. Couldn't trust myself with Instagram. Couldn't trust myself with TikTok. Couldn't trust myself with YouTube. So they were all off the phone and onto another phone. But I'd keep like Snapchat on, so I could talk to my brother. I'd keep Hinge on there just like as a thing. And you click them and you're just like you're scrolling. I'm on Snapchat. I'm scrolling. I'm like. Dude, I can't trust myself. I have to get them off the phone. I honestly think for Gen Z right now, people will call me crazy for this, but if you have an extra $400 laying around and you're part of scrolling army, it will be worth it to spend that $400, even if it's your last, on a burner phone to just put social media on. Put that shit in a safe. And then when you've completed your task, open up that phone.
Go get it.
Highest ROI thing I've done other than stopping drinking.
So you reckon that's probably one of the most valuable
I think everybody should do that. Look, well, I mean, what do you want to spend your life doing?
Yeah.
Do you want to spend your life scrolling reels? Don't listen to a word that I say. If you have big ambitions, big goals that require a lot of input, get that shit off your phone immediately, bro.
It's
like,
just distraction.
I consider myself to be like, to use Gen Z terms, a pretty locked in person.
Yeah.
I cannot resist the scroll. I can. So what do? You get rid of it. I'll ask you a question. Who has a higher likelihood of eating cookies every single day? A fat person who loves cookies that has cookies nowhere in sight. So if I want the cookie and I'm the fat person, I have to wake up, I have to think that I want a cookie, I have to grab my keys, go outside, start the car, all while thinking you're going to get cookies. You're going to get cookies. I have to drive to the store, walk past the fruit, walk past the vegetables, get to the cookies, look at them and be like, I really drove all the way out here to get these cookies. And then I'd have to buy the cookies, bring them home and start eating them. Versus if I was a fit person who knew the cookies weren't good for me and I had cookies laying all over the house, like who's going to eat a cookie first?
Yeah.
The fit person has cookies all over his house. I can't resist the cookies personally, I need to get them away. I can't see the cookies. Phone's in the safe, boxes get checked, I can go on the phone.
Done. Perfect. So before you were talking about having a team, I was reading Buy Back Your Time and it was really interesting because he dove deep into delegation. And he was talking about, okay, what do you enjoy? What brings you in the money? What do you not enjoy and what doesn't bring in the money? Go based off that, what you don't enjoy and doesn't bring in the money, and delegate those tasks to other people. overall then freeing up your time to then put towards other things. So how have you gone about delegation in order to free up more time to put your focus towards things that are more valuable and that you enjoy?
I think it's a really good framework for it. I mean, I'm like, Dan's a G. Like, I'm not gonna like say that I know any better than him when it comes to delegation. I've been in business. My first, I'll put quotes around successful business since we last more than 1 year, but for only 2 years right now. So I'll never claim to be an expert on something that I'm not. But what I will say, for what I would imagine a lot of people listening to this are like getting started in business, and they hear a lot about, like delegate. And yeah, it's like super important to delegate, but like there's immense value, and I would also argue necessity in doing all the shit yourself at first. You understand. Like, like you need to go in there, like do the accounting, send the contract, actually fulfill the service, make the sales call, close the deal, fulfill the client, etc. Like, you kind of have to do that at the beginning. So what are you going to do? Delegate? Like, you have no money, you have no business, you have no proof of concept. Like, you want to at least prove the concept, right?
So
like,
at what stage do you think you should delegate?
Can't do anymore. When you're like, Matt, this is for me. Like I'm saying, I can sit here and tell you exactly what you should do about social media, 100%. But when it comes to business, dude, like I'm figuring it out day by day as well. But I'll tell you what I did, and that's what worked well, is that when I literally couldn't do it anymore. Like, I was putting in 16, 18-hour days every single day. I was like, okay, someone else has to do this. Like, and then you kind of go, okay, what's the easiest thing I can teach to someone else that's like the most tedious that I just want to get off my plate? Get rid of that. What's the stuff that I'm really not good at? Get rid of that. I'm working right now as hard as I can to get to a world where I just make social media videos for myself all day. That's all I want to do. And then just like coach people. Social media. That's what I'm working towards. But I'd imagine I'm a few years out from that. So I'm working hard in the meantime.
Well, Danny, thank you so much for being the first guest on the Creating the Dream Life podcast. It was amazing to hear some insights and get your opinion on all of these things. So I just want to say, for me, a massive thank you for being here.
Well, dude, the privilege is all mine. I completely expect this to be an episode that people scroll all the way down on for years to come and say, wow, I wonder what was happening on Kyle's first episode. So the honor and privilege is mine, and I can't wait to see what you do with this, my man.
I love it. Thank you so much, Danny.
My brother. Get it.